Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is Sin, and welcome to another Rise of Kingdoms video. As you guys are aware, the game currently is at a point where we are about to get 3 new legendary commanders that are going to be engineering and leadership. Now, what I'm going to talk about today isn't necessarily about commanders, but more or less about, like, Imperium kingdoms and lower tier kingdoms. Now, what I want to talk about as far as Imperium and lower tier kingdoms, and I'm going to be doing some things in game while I talk about this, is what are the benefits and what are the non-benefits of being in a bigger kingdom and being in a smaller kingdom. So, to start off, let's talk about what are the benefits of being in a tier or Imperium Kingdom. Now I'm going to include A tier because they're pretty close to Imperium, not as high, but still right up there. And I honestly think that like the huge benefits as far as being in a higher tier kingdom are being able to like not have to, I wouldn't say not have to do as much during KVK, but primarily you don't have to worry about getting like no sleep ever. I think that's definitely a big thing is your time zone. So if you're somebody who lives in a time zone that doesn't exactly line up with when I would say, past 5 opens or whatever, right? Let's just use that as an example. Um, you have a big enough kingdom to where you can hop on later, because 9 times out of 10 as well, unless you're like a higher tier player or anything, you're not going to be in one of the bigger alliances, so to speak. I'm not saying that you can't be. I'm just saying that a lot of the time, if you're not right up there or super active, you're most likely not going to be. And that's fine, because at least, during the times that you can fight, you can hop on, and you're kind of, just, you're filling your space and you're doing your job. The only thing, so to keep on track with positive, that's one. The next thing I would say is you definitely have more chances to get into Ark of Osiris, like alliances. And what I mean by that is like it's more organized, so you don't have to worry about there's only so many good players playing, and I'm gonna get stuck in Ark of Osiris with like no one to play. So there's that. We'll do that later. I want to do this right now. But yeah, that's like one of the things is definitely, having more than enough people to spread out and create ARC teams. I think that that's super beneficial in one way. So there's that. On top of that, when you guys are doing any event, actually, in general, you're looking better off, because there's just more people to do the event or whatever, like caravan or stuff like that, which makes it a lot easier than not having like anyone. And it makes it hard, let's be real, because then you got more of the ads to fight and whatnot. But being in a higher tier kingdom, that's helpful. Also, the amount of activity is helpful as far as chat goes. Your world chat isn't dying. You can see a bunch of people talking, and you can kind of chime in and voice your concerns just to chat or whatever, and there's just plenty of people around to kind of talk to. So that's definitely a positive of being in a higher tier kingdom. So that's what I find. But now, if we're going to talk about I would say being in a high tier kingdom and the negatives. One of the negatives that I've come to find, I've almost maxed my Scipio here, is that when you're in a higher tier kingdom, trying to fill a rally or a flag as a free-to-play player and getting your KDA ratio, or KD ratio, I guess, kill death ratio, is a lot harder. And the reason being is because, well, you know, when people are filling flags, you got so many people in your kingdom that it's nearly impossible to get into the flag with a full march. There's so many other people that want to get in the flag, and you're just sitting there waiting to get your deads so that you can, you know, essentially do your part and contribute. And honestly, looking at it, you know, that's something that I've found, because I did move to a Imperium kingdom, which is great right now for the way that my current way of life is, due to the fact that I am somewhat busy most days, so obviously I can't get on and fight like every single day, you know, to maintain the ground that we have. So, you know, people aren't like, hey, you know, we need this extra guy, because the kingdom is so small that unless you have, like, everyone there, it's going to make it hard. So I guess, you know, there's that. But again, you know, at least then you can more or less get your kills and deaths, you know, adjusted for when they're doing the, when they're deciding who should get awards and whatnot, you know. Now, another negative that I've come to find when you are in a higher tier kingdom is you aren't winning certain events. Ooh, we'll do the wheel while we wait. I will just spin it. You aren't exactly going to be winning in, like, cool, got a sculpture. In, like, Canyon a lot, only because, sweet, I'm only like one sculpture away. Am I one sculpture away? You're not exactly going to be winning a lot, let's put it that way. You're going to be losing a lot of canyon battles. You're not going to be in a higher placement, because when the original kingdom that I came from, I was at least top 50. Which meant the kingdom was, like, at least I would say D tier. Now, honestly, during certain events, if I hadn't powered up and gotten my T5 for my swordsman and did all my buildings, I probably could have won a certain event there with ease, because would have been really little to no one to contest with about it. So I'm gonna say there's that. What else is there? So outside of that, as far as events go, you know, again, Mightiest Governor is one of those events, you know, because if we look at rankings right here where I'm at, you know, there is no, you know, usually it's rigged anyway, but what I'm saying is, because there would be a smaller amount of people, there would be less likely to have things that way, I guess, or you would have a more likely chance of being able to do something in that realm. So there's that. It depends how your kingdom operates too, because most kingdoms operate in the sense of it's rigged, it's for the top you know, contributors and top fighters. And that's usually how it goes, but that's neither here nor there. Jeez, I'm getting tired. But that's one thing. So, you know, as far as it goes, I think that's really all I have to say. Although I do have to say, in bigger kingdoms, kind of just all as one topic, because I'm thinking of it as I'm going. There is less people to manage if you're in a smaller kingdom. So in a bigger kingdom, you have to have more officers who are more dedicated to the game and are willing to monitor people and make sure people are on. Also, in bigger kingdoms, there's a lot of dead weight at times, which can really suck because that means that you're getting seated improperly. So, you know, you're kind of just sitting there like, oh, geez, you know, all these people are holding us down. We need to be in a lower tier. And they will not leave. Which means usually that they're going to get zeroed or something of that nature. Where are we at? Okay. What's this? Okay, cool. So yeah, so there's that, and that's one reason why I think being in a lower tier kingdom is better at times, because there's less people that have to look over. The community's more tight knit. You know, you're not just joining and being like, we are this giant kingdom and I'm a part of this giant, you know, whatever. You know, it's more like focused on that group of people, and I think that that's a lot better in terms of gameplay as well, you know, especially if you're free to play. If you're free to play, smaller kingdoms are where you want to go. And it's just because you'll benefit a lot more from a smaller kingdom as far as like certain events that will give you gold heads or certain rewards, because you won't have to be fighting with spenders for the top spot. I know that that's kind of sucky for a lot of people to hear, especially bigger kingdoms that probably don't want me, you know, just some dude on YouTube that doesn't have a lot of views yet, to be talking about. Because it's kind of funny, because it's like, imagine if a lot of free-to-play players were thinking, oh, hey, you know, I want to get a bunch of awards, what do I do? So they start flooding all these small kingdoms, panning out, which would make them medium-sized, but it would bring more life to those kingdoms too, you know? So there's kind of like a benefit, you know? You might be getting rid of some unnecessary free-to-plays that aren't really doing anything anyway, as far as I can tell. So that would help out everybody, you know, in terms of that. But it doesn't help out the kingdom they're going to, obviously. So, you know, being deadweight over there isn't anything, but it is what it is. What else would I have to talk about? I'm not exactly sure if there's much more to talk about in terms of like what's good. I mean, you know, I've talked about how good a small kingdom can be for free-to-play players in terms of events, as well as most of them are pretty chill and laid back. So like, you don't have to hop on every single day or every other day. Unlike in Imperium kingdoms, it's very like on the ball. You know, you might be able to miss like a couple days, a day or two, but you can't miss like 4 days worth of time. Whereas in a different kingdom, you could probably miss 4 days, hop on, miss 4 days, hop on, and kind of keep doing that. It's more casual play. But in higher tiers, you know, it can be harder. It all depends on how your kingdom is operated. But I've come to find that that's just, you know, how that works. So, it is what it is. But, well, guys, you know, I think that's enough of me rambling on about the differences between higher tiers and what the benefits are as far as being in a higher tier kingdom and a lower tier kingdom. I know there's not a lot of examples, but those are actually a pretty big deal in terms of what you want to do in the game. So, you know, that's just something to keep in mind. Also, like I said, you know, laid back, chill. Maybe you don't want to have to fight some gigantic war. And also, I would say that for free-to-play players, if you don't have a lot of the current commanders in the game, like you're not like, for example, you know, you're not like golded out like this on every single commander, you know, that you have. It's best to go look into a smaller kingdom, because when they get matched up, they're also matching up with smaller kingdoms. Not saying that those smaller kingdoms are, you know, not good or anything, because there's a few smaller tier kingdoms that have like max everything and they're just small in general. But I guess I would say it would better your odds of not having to play against like a million, Scipios or Boudikas or five, complete 5-man marches, and you're just chilling over here like, I got 2. So that's just something to think about, the fighting wouldn't be like too rough on your account as well. With that in mind, if anything else comes up, I'll probably make another video at some point here about stuff like that. I'll probably make a better list too, but those are just a few things that I wanted to get out of the way and kind of throw a video out there about. So yeah, if you guys like the video though, please like and subscribe the video and share with others so that they can see this content and come help support the channel so that I can put out more content. This is something that I'm really trying to get boosted, but yeah. Alright guys, peace.